You are live. Regent Bloom, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. Welcome to the first ASA meeting of the year, and Happy New Year to everybody, since this is the first time I think we have convened together this year, although we're already in the second month. So welcome everybody. I'd like to call the meeting to order. The secretary has reported we have a quorum, correct? Should we take
we do need to take a formal roll, please.
Yes. So would you please do that?
Yes. Regent Bloom?
Present.
Regent Howery?
Present.
Regent James?
Present.
Regent McCarthy?
Present.
Regent Porth?
Present.
And Professor Sasinker?
Present.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. To begin the meeting, I would like to propose a change in the order of the items on the agenda by moving item 4B3, Applied Mathematics, Southern Connecticut State, to the first of the action items, because it is connected to the consent item, the discontinuations, and I think the presentation will be more coherent if we take all of these together, because they're tied together. So the first, I would like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the December 2nd meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Minutes are approved. Now I would like to take a vote on my motion to change the order of the agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion carried. So we will take the consent item, the discontinuations, now with the modifications on 4B3. So I'm going to turn it over to Provost Kathuria.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. Good morning, everyone. Southern Connecticut State University seeks approval for the discontinuation of two programs in mathematics, the Bachelor of Art and the Bachelor of Science 7 through 12. These discontinuations are part of a restructuring of the mathematics program at Southern that also includes the proposed modification of Mathematics Applied BS degree. This modification restructures the program's curriculum to provide more flexibility for students to complete their degrees. In addition to incorporating concentrations discontinued as separate programs, it adds a concentration in statistics. Finally, the modification includes a name change to Mathematics Bachelors of Science. Provost Brizant will speak to the proposal and introduce colleagues as needed to comment and answer questions.
Thank you, Provost Kathuria, and thank you, Regent Bloom, for modifying the agenda here. It wouldn't have made much sense to do one without the other, so deeply appreciated. We have with us today the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and the Chair of our Math Department, Aaron Clark, who will elaborate. I think Provost Kathuria has set the table nicely. I don't need to add anything, so I'll turn it over to Dean Clark.
Thank you, Provost Brizant. The consolidation is precisely what Provost Kathuria had suggested. We did something rather similar to this a couple of years ago by consolidating our BS in Spanish with several different concentrations. It's more efficient. It is more student-friendly. And I'm joined today by Dr. Aaron Clark, the department chair, and Dr. Clay Krusek, the assistant chair of the Department of Mathematics, who can explain and respond to any questions in more detail.
Sure, thank you, Bruce. Let me just verify that what has been said is entirely accurate. It is a consolidation aimed at improving the student experience It also leverages current curricular thinking from the Mathematical Association of America. It incorporates some elements of workforce development by acknowledging the prevalence of data science out in the business and industry spaces right now. So we have added requirements to the all the concentrations within the proposed reorganization that will have students taking a basic sequence in data science as well as their concentration-specific courses. By reorganizing the major, we are looking to grow the core so that students have more access to regularly running courses. We've also built in a more flexible in-major elective structure so that students don't get stuck waiting around for a course that might run, every fall. And, it should help speed up graduation times and overall give students a better experience within the major. But let me finish by emphasizing that really this is a reorganization. We're not proposing a new program within the mathematics. We've just reorganized the existing programs in a more efficient manner. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other, Dr. Clark, any other comments from any of the other members of your staff or the college?
No, I would just, I'm Clay. I would just say that we've incorporated a course about what math really is at the beginning of their time to let them know what their future is and get them to build a bond to, again, keep the cohort together. And at the end, we have an idea of a capstone experience so they can experience what it would be like to be a mathematician in the real world. So,
thank you. Any comments from any of the regents? Questions? Can I have a motion to approve this proposal?
Moved. Second.
Second. Okay.
Regent Bloom?
Yes.
We need to, for voting purposes and the way the agenda is structured, we need to take a vote on the two consent items, the two discontinuations, and then we need a second vote on the modification, if we could, please. So if you could separate them and do them separate.
Yes. Okay. Happy to do that. Thank you. Okay. So the discontinuations, just to summarize what I understand, we will have one degree in mathematics with 4 concentrations. And the students will all start with the Common Core of courses and then be able to branch out in whichever direction their interests take them. So that's the consequence of all the steps we're taking.
That's
okay,
Correct.
So vote on the 2 discontinuations, consent item A1 and 2. Motion to approve the discontinuations.
Second.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? And then we go down to item, the applied mathematics, BS item 4B3. And a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? It is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next action item.
Next action item is 4A, new program, Business BS, Central Connecticut State University. Provost Kathuria.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. Central Connecticut State University seeks the approval for a new program in business leading to a Bachelor's of Science in Business. This program is designed to provide flexibility for students who have decided not to pursue a specific concentration in the business program, who have decided to enter a business program after having accumulated credits that would expand the time necessary to complete a specific concentration, or who are looking for a more general business degree. Provost Costellas will speak to the proposal and introduce colleagues as needed to comment and answer questions.
Great, thank you so much. I think that was a great overview. We're excited about this new degree program. As was just mentioned, this will attract our current traditional students as well as adult learners and non-traditional students too. And the demand is there for a general business degree, at which we currently do not serve. It is more specialized. So to speak more specifically or answer any questions, we have our Dean of the School of Business, Dr. Lisa Frank, with us as well this morning, who can also speak a little bit more and answer any questions.
Good morning, everyone. Provost Costellas did a wonderful job explaining what we're trying to accomplish here. I'll just add one other thing, and that is we have a large cohort of students in the School of Business that register as undecided business. And we've heard from that cohort of students that they're looking for a more generalized degree program. And so this degree program would also serve that segment of students and help to connect them with a particular program earlier in their career at CCSU, which we know that the students who are undecided do not retain as well as the students who are connected with a particular program. So in addition to addressing the needs of transfer students and the demand for the degree program in the general area, to address the program for these undecided students is also something that we're trying to do. So we expect to have both traditional and non-traditional students from a wide range of areas in all industries interested in this program for both reskilling and upskilling, but also just to make it more accessible to these undecided students and also any students that are looking to change major. So that is the last pipeline of students. We have also a cohort of students. If they decide to change major late in the business program and they want to change to one of the more specific disciplines, so we have 5 disciplines in the School of Business, generally that increases their time to degree completion. So this would resolve that problem because it will make it much more easily available to them to change the major into the general business program, not lose those credits, and still complete their degree in the expected amount of time. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Regent Howery?
Hi, good morning. So it lists in the piece that it's on ground and hybrid. You talked about attracting adult learners. How much of this program can be completed online?
So we expect that it's less than 50% of the full program that can be completed online. We have the limitation comes partially from the gen ed requirements in the full program, the full 120 degrees, 120 credit hours. But the transfer students may have an opportunity to complete a larger portion of these courses online because we do offer more of the online courses once you get into the specific business areas.
So what percentage of your projected enrollment comes from adult learners?
We don't, let's see.
I don't think we have parceled it out in that way. Looking at the market analysis, we have a demand even within our existing population, and in market analysis there shows that there is the demand with adult learners, but we didn't parcel out or project, based on the student type.
Okay.
Other questions, comments? This is an AACSB accredited program, so I think that is worth noting. This aspect of the program will then have to go through the next round of AACSB accreditation. Is that right?
That's correct. The AACSB will automatically apply accreditation to any new programs that we offer, but once we go through the next review cycle, they will look at the program specifically to make sure that we're meeting the accreditation requirements. And our next visit is in October this year.
This year, okay. So this will be coming shortly then. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And that's that's a very, you should probably know, a very prestigious accreditation for a business school program. So it's to your credit.
Thank you.
Other comments, questions? Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is carried. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next program is the BFA in Theater Arts from Western. Provost Kathoria.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. Western Connecticut State University seeks approval for a new program in theater leading to a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Theater Arts. Western is ideally positioned to offer this degree because of its existing programs and facilities, as well as its proximity to New York City. This program will appeal to students seeking professional training in the field. Provost Alexander will speak to the proposal and introduce colleagues as needed to comment and answer questions.
Thank you. I am so happy to be here with this degree, and I want to turn this over to Justin Cowan, the chair of our theater department, in just 1 second. But I did want to point out that what we are doing here is building on existing resources to meet the actual demand that we have. The students applying to us would like the professional credential, and that is what the BFA gives them. Justin has done a lot of research on this, and I'd like him to present now.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Alexander. So I'm Justin, and I'm the chair of the Theater Arts Department at Western. This is an exciting day for us to be here in front of you. This program has been a long time in discussion and creation. We only currently have one BFA in our Theater Arts Department, and that is our BFA in Musical Theater. Over the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years since its creation, it has exploded. We see, even post-COVID, close to 400 students auditioning for this one program for only 16 available spots. And then conversely, our BA program, which is a non-audition program and a non-professional program, has been steadily declining. And the reason that we get from parents and students is that they are ultimately looking at professional training programs and BFAs. And where the disconnect comes is if you've been to Western and if you've seen the fabulous Visual and Performing Arts Center here, it is a bit of a conundrum that someone would go, well, you have the BFA facilities, why aren't you offering that degree? So a lot of time has been spent in cultivating what could be a BFA with a common core, with the concentrations in acting, design, tech, and stage management. So it all shares one CIP code. And to build on the courses that already exist, and figuring out how to cross-populate between the different tracks so that they build enrollment within the courses. As of right now, projections look good. I'm really excited about the prospect of this program, and our current students, I will just say, are thrilled about this, because it has also been an equity issue within our program that if you're a student who doesn't sing, then the professional training program isn't available for you. So this will be a really great addition to our program, and will reflect, I think, on the facilities and the location and proximity to New York. And that's it.
And if I could just add one last tidbit of information. I happened to attend a panel that was held at the Jewish Community Center in my town 2 weeks ago. And it was a panel that was populated by 3 Broadway dancers who actually teach for us. And they started talking about the careers in theater and how they need to grow. And we all tend to look at them and think about the Broadway star, right? And that's a group of our students are aiming for that, and we think some of them will really be successful with that. But they started talking about and that's where the management and the technical theater really needs more people, needs greater diversity in it, and we want to be part of that solution. So that was totally accidental, and they started making a list of where they think the opportunities lie. So I'm excited for this.
Questions or comments from the regents? Regent Howard?
Hi, good morning. Having been to Western's amazing facility and seen shows there, I am very excited about this program. And I'm excited that we get to offer it from a state college, right? That we get to offer it at a price that will bring this kind of training to a larger, more diverse group of students. So I'm very excited to see this presentation today. And thank you for working hard to bring it forward. I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing some of those shows.
Thank you.
You bet.
Further, Chair Ryan, did you have a comment?
No, I'm just learning and listening, and I'm very, very excited to be hearing all these positive things. So that's good. Keep it up.
Chair Ryan, definitely go to some shows.
I will. I will. No question.
I just communicated with the president's office at Western to ask for a calendar to share with all of the regents. So as soon as I receive that, you guys will start putting that on your calendars.
Thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
And let me know when you're coming so I can say hi.
Okay.
We're assuming this program will be self-sustaining. Is that the general?
Yes.
That's the goal.
I'm sorry.
It is planned accordingly, right?
Comments from any of the other regents? Questions? Motion to move the theater arts BFA program at Western.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is carried. The second proposal from...
A heartfelt thank you to all of you.
Thank you. The second proposal from Western, the BA in Popular Music. Provost Kathuria, you want to start?
Yep. Thank you, Regent Bloom. Western Connecticut State University seeks approval for a new program in music leading to a Bachelor of Arts in Popular Music. This degree is designed for students who do not have the training needed to audition and apply for admission to more traditional music programs. Once again, Provost Alexander will speak to the proposal and introduce colleagues as needed to comment and answer questions.
Thank you. This is also a long time coming, and I'm so presenting it. We have a wonderful music program, Bachelor of Music, for students who have had the traditional path. We have been a leader in that for many, many years here, and talented program. But it leaves out a pretty big group of people who are interested in studying music. And those people are people who either did not have access to education programs in their K-12 experience, or simply started a little later in terms of acquiring those skills, or had an interest in the new kinds of ways that we produce music that are not with traditional instruments. And so the music faculty put their heads together to develop a degree that does allow people to start learning music here, get the foundations in theory, but also to expand their skill set in the kinds of instruments and genres that they are interested in. We think this is an incredible issue in terms of equity and a great opportunity for students at Western. I'd like to turn it over to Laura Larson, the chair of the music department, to add a few words.
Good morning, and thank you so much for hearing this proposal today and considering it. Absolutely, as Dr. Alexander said, this is a degree that we've heard students ask for years and years and years, even before the pandemic. We always contact the students that are identified by admissions as desiring a major in music, and we invite them to audition. And many times we'll get the response, do I have to audition? I don't play an instrument, I make beats, but I want to continue my studies. And over the pandemic, when so many music programs were shut down because, it's very hard to do band over Zoom, that became more and more pronounced. Kids would quit because they were not motivated to pursue band in that way, or choir or whatever, and then they would turn to electronic composition as their creative outlet. So we would like to serve those students. These are not students who currently qualify for our current degree programs, and not students who are really interested, quite frankly, in classical or jazz studies, which is the primary focus right now of our current degree program. So this is to serve additional students that when we do kind of look into them later, they don't enroll in Western. So it is to get additional students to be able to serve them, and it's definitely an issue of access and equity.
Comments, questions?
One comment, which is I think this is an excellent way to fill a necessary gap in our music education system. I would love to see us, and it's not necessarily our role, but as a institution, how can we advocate for us bringing back access to music education in the K through 12 system? Because I feel many are underserved by those changes, and I'm happy to see us stepping in, but the issue is much broader than that, and I think it's definitely a step in the right direction that you're taking this type of a leadership role.
Thank you.
Thank you, Regent James. Other comments, Regent Howry?
Hi, good morning. Thank you. Thank you for looking at the pandemic and hearing what your students had to say and looking beyond some of the traditional programs you've had. And it sounds like this one's going to offer a path that we haven't offered in the past. And I'm super excited about that. And I'm excited about the opportunity to bring some of the, again, affordable equity and diversity to this kind of education to our students. So thank you very much.
This is a fairly high hill you're climbing with these students, because from what you've said in the proposal, these are students that have come from no technical background in music, not able to read music and not as they enter.
That's correct, but we have some foundational courses that we'll offer in their first year to teach them just those skills. You know, many guitar students will read tablature, but not traditional treble and bass clef notation. So those students would be served by this. And oftentimes maybe voice majors, don't read music either. So this serves not only kids who've been creating music electronically, but also those who have been making music by ear. And so then it just becomes a matter of connecting what they're already hearing to notation on the page, making those connections so that then they can be successful in some foundational theory work after that.
And the courses are currently there to do this?
Yes, we used almost entirely existing courses. We would add a songwriting course that the audio students are also very interested in taking, and then a capstone course that's going to be a collaborative work with our existing audio production students who would be producers for an album that the BA and popular music students would put together with them. So a couple of new courses we'll have to put through, but for the most part, overwhelmingly, it's existing courses that we already offer.
This will open up many different types of opportunities for these students that they have not had before, I assume.
Correct, that's correct.
Any other comments, questions from regents? Motion to approve the BA in popular music?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion is approved. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We move on to the 4B of the agenda, modifications, organizational effectiveness and leadership, MS and Charter Oak. Provost Cathori.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. I'm getting feedback. Charter Oak State College seeks approval for a name change of a program, namely from organizational effectiveness and leadership to organizational leadership. This change will make the program more visible to common search engines. Dr. Barron will speak to the proposal and answer any questions and address any comments.
Okay, thank you for allowing me to join today to talk about our program. We are requesting approval to change the name of our degree program from Master of Science in Organizational Effectiveness and Leadership to a Master of Science in Organizational Leadership. We have been working with a consulting firm to drive enrollment growth in our graduate programs at Charter Oak State College. Unfortunately, a key constraint slowing our growth in our current Master of Science in Organizational Effectiveness and Leadership degree program relates to the name of our program and not being able to support program growth utilizing accepted search engine optimization practices. Based on the market and search engine optimization research conducted related to a search on a degree in organizational effectiveness and leadership degree, organizational leadership is the most popular degree name based on average monthly search statistics. I would like to emphasize in our proposal that this is strictly a degree name change. The current CIP code, program structure, and learning outcomes for the newly named degree will remain exactly the same as our current degree exists today. Thank you for allowing me to speak with you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Regent Howery.
Hi, good morning. As a graduate of this fine program, I will also tell you that it's difficult because it is named uniquely to fill it out on those online job applications. It's frequently not an option, right? And I think applicants are really concerned about making sure they don't misrepresent themselves. So this is a hugely popular change, I would say, not only for searching going in, but for graduates coming out to be able to accurately reflect what their degree is and what it means. So thank you for bringing this forward. I appreciate it.
This is a kind I just wanted to make. I'm sorry, Regent James. You're.
Yeah, I'm fine.
It's interesting that this whole process is driven by what IT is doing, and the recognition through. So it's Google is driving this particular item in an interesting way. So I think that's a kind of profound observation. I mean, that what you're doing, what's happening here, in a very an interesting way. Any other comments about this? Motion to approve it.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion approved. Google will be happier.
Well, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Dr.
Next item is, thank you. Next item is 4B2, addiction counseling. Provost Kathoria.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. Southern Connecticut State University seeks approval for a name change of a program, namely from Postmaster's Certificate in Addiction Counseling to Graduate Certificate in Addiction Counseling. This change makes clear that a completed master's degree is not a requirement for entering the program. Provost Prezant will speak to the proposal and introduce colleagues as needed to comment and answer questions.
Thank you, Provost Kathoria. I think you've heard some of the arguments already just now. So we're going to have a little repeat here and to help us understand why we need this. What seems to be a minor but an important change is the chair of our Department of Counseling and School Psychology, Dr. Margaret Generali. Margaret.
Thank you. So this program is fairly new, as you all may remember, but we wanted to change the name so that we can encourage current master's degree students to dual enroll in the program. The coursework isn't more rigorous than the advanced master's coursework, so it makes more sense. And it also allows them to be more flexible in their scheduling, so they can take classes while they're in the master's, and they can arrange it so that they are eligible for financial aid, because if they take one course at a time, it's not enough credit for them to take out student loans. So all around, it's just a good move on our part for support to students.
Thank you. Comments, questions from the regents? No comments and questions. Motion to approve. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? All in favor of the Addiction Counseling Postmaster Certificate?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Approved. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, I'm sorry.
Regent McCarthy has his hand.
Regent McCarthy,
Hold on.
yes. Regent McCarthy?
You're muted, Regent McCarthy.
Okay, now I'm not. Sorry for that. This is a general comment in some ways that applies to all of the issues that we've just or cases that we've just discussed, and I'm influenced here by Regent Howry's comments. As we're going forward, and this is kind of preaching to an assembled audience, that the issue of accommodating and designing programs for non-traditional students is going to become increasingly important, if for no other reason than the demography. The numbers of traditional age students are declining, and the numbers of students with some college and no degree is increasing. So I just make a plea to the assembled provosts and deans to consider every time they're developing programs, the extent to which those programs can be designed to attract transfer students, students of non-traditional age coming back, particularly those with some college credits already, but no degree. And obviously that means, as Provost Howry's question implied, that means a greater reliance on online and distance learning. So I'd just like to introduce that idea. I hope that going forward we'll see more examples of programs that have been specifically designed with non-traditional students in mind. Thank you.
This should be to add to Regent McCarthy's point, this should be a real opportunity for Charter Oak to take some initiatives in some of these areas. Thank you. We have already approved the 4B Applied Mathematics BS. So the next item is C, the appointment recommendation for the appointment to the Governor William A. O'Neill Endowed Chair. Regent Kathoria.
Thank you, Regent Bloom. Central Connecticut State University seeks the approval for the appointment of Mr. Edwin Vargas to fill the Governor William A. O'Neill Endowed Chair in Public Policy and Practical Politics. Mr. Vargas' public service career spans 45 years, most recently serving Connecticut as State Representative and Deputy Speaker. Mr. Vargas has served in many leadership positions both in the state and nationally. His service includes 35 years as an educator in the Hartford Public School System. The president of Central Connecticut State University, Dr. Zulma Toro, has endorsed the recommendation to appoint Mr. Vargas to this position. Provost Costello will speak to the proposal and introduce colleagues as needed to comment and answer questions.
Great, thank you. And I appreciate you giving that introduction. With that, I think it leaves me to turn it over to our Interim Associate Vice President of Community Engagement and Experiential Learning, who is also the Executive Director of the Center. And Dr. Beth Merenstein is with us as well, who can give us a little bit more of an overview and answer any questions that anybody may have as well.
Thank you, Provost Costello and Provost Katoria. After an extensive national search, we are looking for your support in appointing Edwin Vargas for the William O'Neill Endowed Chair. He replaces Don DeFranzo, who was an excellent support for the university for the past 6 years. We are excited about the prospect of Mr. Vargas's contributions to and for our students and to the larger community. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone might have about this appointment.
Any Regent McCarthy?
Yes, I just want to make a comment. I actually, among the hundreds of pages that are included in these agendas, the pages that were in some ways the most exciting ones to read, in spite of the length, were the pages describing Mr. Vargas's background. I just want to congratulate everyone involved on this recruitment, because if this was a recruitment to bring in a leader in public policy and practical politics, I can't imagine that you could find somebody more suited for that position. So I think this will be a great boon to Central and to the entire system. So kudos for this proposal. I think you've got an excellent candidate.
Thank you so much. We feel the exact same way. We were very excited when he submitted his application, and every step through the process, we had lots of support. So thank you very much.
Regent Porth, you had a...
Yeah, I just want to echo what Regent McCarthy just said. First of all, I think this is a really important position. As a person who's worked in or around government and nonprofits over the years, this is an important position, and people rely on it to get advice and good research and so forth with regard to important public issues. Secondly, in my capacity around government, I've seen Rep. Vargas in action, and he's really good. And he is a great person to assume this responsibility for us. So it is very exciting. And then third, my current work, we're about to run some sessions which we call Representation Matters, where the goal is to get more diversity in leadership across the state, cities and towns, and at the state level. And again, Edwin Vargas will be exceptional in that role as well, encouraging people who might not otherwise think that it's possible that they can be leaders too in the state and in school boards and local governments and so forth. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, that we are really looking forward to his ability to help students understand civic engagement and their role moving forward. So thank you for that.
Yep.
President Sanker?
I won't go on too long, but I just want to echo these same sentiments. I'm just so excited that he will be with us, and great choice. I'm honored he'll be joining our community. So,
thank you.
Any other comments? Motion to approve the appointment of Edwin Vargas to the O'Neill Professorship.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Approved.
Thank you so
you
much.
all. Thank you.
Now we have completed the action items. We're moving on to the informational items, the below threshold items A through A1 through 10. Are there any comments about those that anybody wants to make? We don't vote on them normally, but if there's any comments or any questions about any of them. Okay. Seeing none. Next is a proposal to revise the University Centers and Institutes policy for discussion. This is not for vote today. This is for discussion. If we come to some consensus, this will return probably next month for a vote. So comments about the draft that you see. Provost Kathoria, do you want to start with this?
Yeah, this was actually a request that came to us from the board to revise this policy. So what we have done, Ken and Fran, who are here, they actually assisted in this process. They have actually done the research and found out what are the policies that other universities and other colleges using. And so the modifications that you see today, we are bringing forward after consulting Regent Bloom. And we would love to get feedback from all our institutions on this policy. So if you have any comments, questions, this would be the time to give us feedback. And as Regent Bloom said, this will return back hopefully in the next meeting for an official vote and adoption. But for now, this is open for discussion, comments, and feedback.
Comments? Regent Howery?
Hi, good morning. So thank you for being responsive to our request on this. And thank you for looking at best practices in other places. I really appreciate the time and effort that went into this. And it looks good on the surface. I don't have any other comments besides that, but having a unified policy across all the institutions, I think is going to be really helpful. So thank you.
Are there any other comments? Questions? If okay, well, I think okay, so we will come back. This is, as Regent Howery said, a request that this committee had made in the past to provide additional clarification around the centers and institutes policy. If anybody has any further comments, please forward them to Pam, and we will come back, I hope, next month with this as an action item. And the final item, C, also as a request from the committee, a revision of the new program forms, which we a number of issues have come up in connection with new program proposals. Fran Rosselli has worked hard to try to address them in this proposed revisions to the form. I would really appreciate any comments any of the regents may have. I mean, this is something we have to digest every month when new proposals come in, and try to put it in a way and present it in a way that's more informative and perhaps less daunting than we've had than it has been in the past. And I think I very much like the introductory material that we now have. As you see this month, we have the introductory executive summary sheets, and then for each proposal, we have the statement that follows, and then the statement is repeated when you look for the pages for that proposal. But if you look at the first group here, the first 23 pages or so, you have the gist of what is coming, the proposals that are coming before this board for that month. And then, of course, the backup material is easily linked to electronically in the document. So comments, questions about the new form? Regent Howery?
Thank you for including percentage for hybrid of courses that are available fully online. I think that helps us understand the impact on adult learners who may not find it possible to go to campus. So I appreciate that. And the overall change is great too, but that one box is a favorite.
Regent James?
No comment on the specific forms.
I think one of the issues that comes up each month, which I had been concerned about, and I think the forms try to address, is the impact that the new proposal would have on existing programs on that campus, as well as, and perhaps even more significantly, existing similar programs throughout the CSCU system. So there's a more, I think this creates a little bit more formal process to make sure that the other universities in particular have comment, if they have comments about a proposal coming from one of their sister or brother institutions, that they will make them and provide their input into this process. Because we have, as I think Regent McCarthy pointed out a few minutes ago, obviously we have issues of enrollment and et cetera that become very important. And I particularly am concerned, we don't want to step on each other's toes. So I'm hoping that these revised forms will provide greater clarity to the regents as to the potential impact of new programs, not just the ability to draw students, but the impact upon other programs in the system.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's very important that we not allow something to creep in that may well achieve the enrollment targets of the institution proposing it, but may do so to some extent at the expense of, or the partial expense of, some other institutions in the system. That just doesn't help our overall enrollment situation. It's okay if we steal students from somebody else, but not from others.
Yes. Stealing from somebody else is part of the process.
That's a good thing. So.
Yes, it's a good thing. Are there any other comments?
Just a general comment. I really want to thank you for this report. As you said, the heft of it was pretty daunting. However, I really felt very excited about the new programs that are being introduced. Admire the thoughtfulness and the common sense approach to the modifications that we're making, both with respect to providing greater clarity about what we are accomplishing, greater access for different types of students, and I think making us more competitive, because it just brings a greater transparency to what our programs are, what they're trying to accomplish. And I want to say I really appreciate clearly the work that went into highlighting for us as regents the areas, because I thought it helped me understand not only what we were doing, but why we were doing it, and at the appropriate level in terms of not having to digest all of the detail, but really understand what are the goals, what are we trying to accomplish, and why are we making these recommendations. So I just want to give my appreciation. I think we're off to a great start for this calendar year for the committee. So thank you.
And it does, I think one of the advantages of this is for people who want to see the detailed background on a particular program, it's there.
Right.
And they can easily link to it if they have, particular interest in a particular program and want to see the gruesome details that back up the program.
No, I think that was the use of an executive summary in the minutes, or in the material that went out, was extremely helpful in that regard. First of all, it gives the opportunity for an overview of all the actions that we're considering in just a couple, 3 pages of solid information. And secondly, it points out exactly where we can get more information on those items that we're interested in. So that was really very helpful, I thought, to both get a broader understanding of the whole picture and then more easily access the detailed parts that we want to look at. I don't want to admit that I haven't read every one of the 200 pages carefully, but I haven't. But this really helps, I think, to
and I'd like to give a thank you to Fran Rosselli, who actually built that chart, and to Kayla, who assembled that executive summary document. And we will make that a regular part of the communications to this committee. So great team effort. Thank you both.
Yes, and Vice President Klutznick also is involved in So we had, this was Professor Kastoria, this was a team effort to put this together in this way. So I want to thank everybody, that worked with us on this, worked with me on this, and this is, I'm glad that the other regions find this really helpful.
Yeah, thank you to our leadership for this. It's great.
This concludes the formal agenda. I think it does, unless I missed something. Anybody have any comments for good and welfare before we have a motion to adjourn? Madam Chair?
No.
You're muted, Madam Chair.
Muted, John.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I'd just like to thank you. I've been hearing, seeing, and reading so much material about all the good things you're doing. And I just want you to know how much all of us truly appreciate your efforts in making this and continuing to make this the finest institution in Connecticut. So thank you for your leadership and your support and help. And enjoy a wonderful weekend, because it is Friday.
Mr. Bloom, motion to adjourn?
I'm ready to accept the motion to adjourn if there are no further comments. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any controversy about the motion to adjourn? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? I want to, just before I conclude, I also want to thank the staff who have been great in support here. And so I want to express a formal thanks. And now I have formally adjourned the meeting following the vote, the approval of this controversial motion.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Just
Take
really
care.
great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Your live stream is stopped.